what should go on my website's homepage? Okay, it's a pretty loaded question, but generally speaking, here's what I recommend having on your homepage. It's important to understand that your website should essentially be a story about a customer who has a problem, and they are using your product or service to overcome that problem, okay? Always write my content out in a Word document first, and then figure out how to design around it, rather than trying to write my content on the fly while I'm designing my homepage. The messaging gets all messed up. It's much better to make sure that your story is right in a Word document and then lay that out into a graphic interpretation onto your website. First part of the homepage is typically identifying the hero of the story. If you are a power washing company that does driveways, you may lead off with a question like, would you like to clean years of dirt, debris, and grime off of your driveway? Okay? You're identifying the person that you want to continue reading, and if they've read that question and then they answered yes to it, they know that this page is for them and they can continue reading more. So open up with a nice question or headline like that that clearly identifies and speaks to the target market that will be interested in your product or service. Okay, now that we've identified the hero of our story that's going to bring the driveway back to its former glory by hiring your company, the next step is to put the villain in there, right? And the villain is the dirty driveway, right? So you need to empathize with their problem and show them that you understand all the issues that are coming from that driveway. It's not just that they have a dirty driveway. It's judgment from their neighbors. It's maybe poor curb appeal. It could be a lower value on offers that they're getting on their house. Who knows what those may be? You need to figure out what those deeper problems are. But the villain is that dirty driveway and all the problems it's causing. By letting people know that you understand the real emotional problems or frustrations that they're having, and you can solve those with your product or service, you're tapping into an emotional connection that most businesses just aren't making. So if your customer is Luke Skywalker and the dirty driveway is Darth Vader, then who are you in this scenario? You're Yoda, okay? You're simply guiding them on how to fix their problem, how to get from point A to point B using your product or service, but you're simply the guide showing them, how do I go from having a dirty driveway to getting this clean driveway? As their guide, it's your job to lay out a very clear path on how they get from having a dirty driveway to having a clean driveway and how they utilize your service, okay? Oftentimes it's very simple. Step 1, fill out the form on our page. Step 2, we'll contact you to schedule an appointment. Step 3, your driveway will be clean within 24 to 48 hours. It could be that simple, but they need to see that simple 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever step process it is to get to be from where they are now to having their problem solved. After you've shown them the clear path, you need to make some promises to them, okay? There are poor service providers, more than likely, or whatever the product or service that you offer, there's more than likely competitors that offer it and are doing a poor job. What is good to do is go onto Google and look for 1-star reviews of your competitors. Find out what people are complaining about. I'll give you a hint. Usually it's that people are late or unprofessional or something's overpriced or they cut corners and didn't do a good job, okay? So whatever those items may be for your particular industry or product, go and find out what the biggest problems are that people are having and what their biggest objections might be to hiring your business before they even get started. So your list of promises is going to basically just be a list that directly combats the biggest complaints that people have about that product or service in your area. So it could be that we'll arrive on time in proper protective gear, we'll clean your driveway professionally and quickly, we'll show you before and after pictures for your satisfaction, and we give 100% quality guarantee. Okay? Putting the person's mind at ease that those things are important to you, those biggest complaints, that being on time is important to you, and that that's not going to be them that's waiting for 3 hours for the company that didn't show up. Those are important things that you can put on your homepage to kind of act as a digital salesman and combat the most common objections to your product or service. Okay, so now we've identified the hero, we've identified the villain, we've empathized with their problem, we've shown them a clear path on how to fix it, and we've made them a list of promises to combat their most common objections that they might have. After that, really all that we can do is give them proof. People who have used our product or service in the past and are giving us positive reviews. So it's time to put in some either testimonials or videos or any kind of reviews that you may have from third parties that prove that your product or service is legitimate or credible. Okay, now this is kind of back and forth. Some people like it, some people don't. I do like to do this because I think that there is a penalty to inaction, and you need to identify that. Usually underneath the reviews, I'll put one sort of last comment in there. Stop letting your dirty driveway ruin the curb appeal of your home, or something along those lines. Let them know what the penalty of inaction is. If they don't contact you to fix this problem right now, things are going to remain the same. Their problem is going to be there. So remind them of their problem one more time, not over the top, but just that if they don't take action, things are going to stay the same. And then finally, obviously, I like to end with some sort of contact form or whatever you're doing as a call to action to schedule an appointment. You need a contact form or some sort of call to action to collect their information and set up an appointment or an estimate with them and move forward. Okay, so just to recap, you're going to start by identifying your hero at the top of the page. You're going to also identify the villain in your story in your page, and then you're going to empathize with the issues that your hero is having while they're facing that challenge. You're going to give them a simple 3 to 4 step process on how to go from where they are now to having their problem solved using your product or service. You're going to give them a list of promises to combat the most common objections that would be in your customers' minds. You're going to give them proof with reviews or testimonial videos that you've done this before and that they aren't going to be the first customer to have this positive experience with you. You're also going to remind them of what the cost of inaction might be or what's going to happen if they don't fix their problem today. And then you're going to leave them with a contact form to leave their information and get started. Need help fixing your website? Schedule a free consultation with me directly at creativerocketship.com. I look forward to speaking with you and learning more about your business.